I'm Herman Ezra Schulman, 98 and a half years old, born in Munich, Germany, come to the United States at the behest of the Hebrew Union College in fall of 1935. I was ordained by the Hebrew Union College as a rabbi in 1941, and I've been a rabbi therefore for close to 74 years now. And I've been in Chicago since 1949, first with the Union of American Hebrew Congregations, as it was known then, and then since 1956 with the Emanu-El congregation, whose emeritus I am now. And I'm very pleased and genuinely honored to have been asked to participate in this event, which, though belated, I think is of genuine significance, of such a nature that I think it needs to have an audience beyond even the Hebrew Union College to a much larger group of people in both Jewish and non-Jewish life. For what this event is highlighting and primarily interested in is, of course, the extraordinary event that happened here in the late 30s and early 40s in the Hebrew Union College, where under the direction of its then president, Rabbi Julian Morgenstern, the college, under his initiative, undertook to save the lives of, I would say, something like a dozen, maybe more, maybe a few less, scholars of European vintage who otherwise would have shared the fate of the 6 millions that were annihilated in a most fiendish and efficient way by the Nazi regime. Among those who were saved in this fashion was also a group of 5 students taken from the Lehranstalt für die Wissenschaft des Judentums, the more liberal seminary in Germany, in 1935. And I mention this date because this is really significant. In 1935, for instance, my own family, especially my late father, was totally unwilling to emigrate and to understand what was happening as a result of the election of Adolf Hitler to be the Chancellor of the German Reich in 1933. In fact, some of the German Jews, among them my late father, were so patriotic as they thought of themselves that when I, on a very foolish initiative, came back in 1937 in the summer to be present for the bar mitzvah of my younger brother and urged my parents to emigrate because, having lived in the United States for 2 years by this time, I knew something about what the world was thinking and discovering in the Nazi regime and in the position of Jews of Europe that apparently had made no real impact yet on my patriotic German father. And my father refused to emigrate, and the only reason that he survived the Nazi period is that in 1938, as a result of the Kristallnacht event, with hundreds of others, he was taken to the concentration camp in Dachau, outside of Munich, and only by all kinds of machinations was my mother finally able to have her brother, who had emigrated to Brazil a decade earlier, to obtain certificates for immigration to Brazil, which was the key for my father's release from Dachau. So in a way, I'm indicating that if Rabbi Morgenstern already in early 1935 wanted to help some students, Jewish students in Berlin, to be rescued by being given this scholarship, it is an extraordinarily foresighted and historically significant moment. This is one of the earliest efforts that I know of that have been made to rescue Jews from Germany. And there were 5 of us, my colleagues Plaut, Kelter, Lichtenberg, Wolf, and I, who came over together on a ship in late summer of 1935, and well, the rest is, as they say, history. Each of us made a life here and made an impact on the American Jewish scene, each of us according to our predilections and abilities. And I'm the current survivors, the only one, of course, of the 5. And I have the opportunity now that you've given me to be therefore part of this observance, which is of historic significance in the sense that it shows how singularly there had been no similar kind of effort made by any other seminary that I know of in the United States, of the Hebrew Union College of Cincinnati being instrumental in saving the lives of scholars who then continue to do their teaching and research work right here, and of the 5 of us who at that time, not knowing what American life was like, tried to learn it and to fit in. And so now, here at 98 and a half years old, I'm reflecting on the extraordinary, to me, virtually miraculous way in which I was rescued, and have always felt a profound obligation to prove to the college and to whatever being there is to which I'm responsible, to prove that it was not a mistake to have me come to the college and for 6 years to be taught, maintained, and eventually ordained. So to me, to be here with you today is part of the culmination of a journey, an odyssey you might call it, for which I was not prepared. I couldn't even speak English, not even one sentence when I came, and had to learn so much. Never heard of Reform Judaism, never knew what it would mean to have any kind of Judaism other than the traditional one to which I had been raised and which was the only one available in Munich where I was born. And so I feel a deep debt of gratitude that is beyond my capacity really to pay for having been rescued myself and being part of this fabulous intent and effort that Rabbi Morgenstern made, which is of historic significance. One of the initiatives and never silenced voices within my own self was that I had always felt that if in Germany there had been any kind of atmosphere or actual happenings in which Jews and Christians could have talked to each other and begun to understand each other, maybe the Nazis would not have had a chance to overwhelm Germany and eventually Europe. And so I've devoted a good deal of my own life to the furthering of relationships between Jews and Christians. I've been teaching at a Christian seminary, the Northwestern University in Evanston here in Chicago for 57 years. And I'm still interested in organizations and have been in part substantially involved in founding groups of especially also clergymen in Chicago, headed usually by the cardinal, one of whose main interests and intentions was to create an atmosphere of understanding and amity between the various religious communities, of which Chicago has dozens, not only Christians and Jews or Muslims, but every variety of religious expression is available in Chicago. And the leaders of these groups have all come together in the Council of Religious Leaders of Metropolitan Chicago, which my late friend, Cardinal Bernardin, was the founder of, and in which I was an early president because of his influence on my life and his influence in the community. So altogether, I would say that the very fact that I was raised till I was 19 years old in Germany and came to understand the enormous impact of the Shoah, not just on Jewish life, but on theology, on the whole world, on everybody who thinks of himself or herself as a religious person. This impact is still working in me and continuously challenges me to come up with seeking an understanding of what the Shoah really has meant for the existence of the Jewish community today and its future, as well as the existence of Western culture. So I would like to think that the event that you have undertaken here today is of very far-reaching and profound possible consequences. And I am therefore especially grateful to you for having given me the opportunity to participate. Thank you.